Well, this daily vlog will contain more random bits of miscellaneous stuff than any that I've ever put out, I believe. So stay tuned and I'll tell you all about all those random bits. Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works workshop. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, and of course that means we'll be playing this evening at Dickey's Barbecue in Rolla, Missouri. Unfortunately, our banjo player won't be there tonight. He has to attend a funeral or a wake. And it's just kind of par for the course since I've got his guitar, that HD28, all finished, and was really anxious to hear him play it this evening. But he won't be there this evening, and he won't be there next week either. That's that typical Rosa luck I'm telling you about. It's just the way things like that work out with me. But that's okay. He'll eventually get to play his guitar. Okay, I told you there was going to be tons of randomness in today's vlog. Well, get ready because there's a ton of it. The second bit of randomness is that we will be playing this coming Saturday evening at the Lyric Live Theater in downtown Newburgh, Missouri. And downtown means it's right along the railroad track there. There's just a line of storefronts, and if you go down far enough, you'll see the Lyric Live Theater there in front of the railroad tracks. And that's this coming Saturday evening, about 7 o'clock. So if you're in the viewing area and, close enough to drive in within an hour or so, we would love to have you come to our show on Saturday evening. It's going to be a good one. And we will have the full band there, including the banjo player. So it's going to be fun. We'll have a good time. Okay, the next bit of randomness, and this is really random. See that? If we can get the camera to focus on it. And that? I think it's like that. I'm not really sure. I can't tell. Can you tell what it is? Yeah, that is a quarter that has been polished. It worked its way out of the washing machine. And I mean, that sucker is absolutely polished. I guess the spinner thing or whatever, the agitator in there must have been rubbing on this for years. It's literally, I've never seen a quarter in such a shape. It's crazy. Just randomness. Another bit of randomness last night, I don't know, around 6:30, 7 o'clock or something, I kind of usually crash in my chair and start watching YouTube, Well, about 7 o'clock or so, the wife says, you need to fix the garage door opener. So I go out there and see what's wrong, and the limit switches aren't working. That means where it goes all the way down, it stops. There's a limit switch that stops it, and then when it goes all the way up, it stops it. Well, it was going all the way down, and then it would immediately go all the way back up. It would stop when it got to the top, but it wasn't stopping in the right place, at least not according to her, because it wasn't opening up enough, because her truck antenna was hitting the door now, and it never used to do that. Okay, so at that late hour, I took the garage door opener apart. And I mean, when I say took it apart, I do mean like more than just take the cover off. I took out there's 3 nylon screw threaded things with electronics on them that move like this, and they control the up and the down and all that stuff and the length of the throw on the anyway, I ain't gonna go into all the super detail, but it took me 4 attempts to take all that apart, clean it up, and put it all back together to get it to work. The reason I had to take it apart was because of the mud dauber nests. There were gazillions of them in there. It was just packed full of mud dauber nests, and that was what was keeping it from working. Anyway, I won an hour later. After 4 attempts of taking it apart, I finally got it to work. It took me a little while to figure out how all that worked, because with all the mud dauber's nest in there and everything, you couldn't see much, and when I pulled all that out, it pulled all the electronics out and everything, so I had to put all that back. It was really a complicated mess, and not knowing how it actually went together, it was really tricky figuring it out, but I won after the 4th time. Let's see, what's the next bit of randomness? Well, we had a visitor in the shop yesterday, and he brought in a rather unique Eastman mandolin, so take a look at this. Well, my friends, Mel Parker's here from Union, Missouri.
Yep.
And he brought a unique mandolin here. I think it's kind of unique. I really don't recall, all 40 years of doing this, I may have seen one, but I don't remember seeing a mahogany top mandolin. And this one's a beauty. It really is a pretty mandolin. It's made by Eastman. And to my surprise, it's got a fairly woody sound too. I kind of thought it would have a thinner, brighter sound, but it's got a pretty woody sound. We did change the the intonation a little bit, so it's up in real good shape on the intonation now. The action's a teeny bit high, and we were debating on the antler saddle, and the only claim I make is the antler saddle is louder. I don't necessarily say it makes them any woodier sounding, but if you have a really good woody sounding mandolin, the antler brings it out that much more because it just brings out the volume. But on this mandolin, I don't know if I think it would really help it to put an antler saddle on it. The only way to know is to try it, I guess. But it's got a really good sound. Got a lot of punch too. Got quite a bit of volume already. Just thought you might get a kick out of seeing that. Really pretty mandolin. There's a look at the back again. Try to get it where the glare is not hitting it so much. There it is. Hope you enjoyed that. Well, for the record, we did put a deer antler saddle on this. I just set the intonation on it, and it sounds really good. Very loud, very clear. Just needs to be played in again after you set them up, make any changes like that. It takes a little while for everything to settle down. For the record, it's a model MD415. The serial number, in case anybody cares, is 127-52822. So you said this was made back in 2017?
2017, they don't make them anymore.
2017, and he doesn't think they make these anymore. So there you go. Pretty good little mandolin though. I think the antler saddle helped it, at least in terms of volume. Well, I hope you enjoyed a look at that Eastman mandolin. It was really a pretty mandolin, and it had a really surprisingly good sound for it being made out of solid mahogany. I wouldn't have placed big bets on that sounding good, but it sounded pretty good, so, there you go. You learn something new every day. I think I'll still stick to my spruce in terms of building them and stuff, but that really did look pretty. A lot of people comment all the time, why do you put all the pretty wood on the back? Well, there you go. That Eastman there had the pretty wood on the front as well. So it sounded pretty good. So that proves all my theories wrong. And let's see, what else for bits of randomness? In terms of the auction, we are working on putting all that stuff together. It turns out 2 of the instruments did not meet their reserve. So the fiddle did not meet the reserve, and neither did the Gibson mandolin. So I am going to very shortly be putting those back up for auction again, and hopefully with those 2 just being concentrated, and we can give maybe better description and better detail. Maybe I'll play them a little better and stuff, and maybe we can get those sold as well. For the record, for the fellow that bought the handmade dulcimer, I did get the buzz fixed on that, and it turned out in your favor, so you didn't get hit with a big bill or anything on that. I was able to fix it fairly quickly. We still have a lot of work to do on getting all that stuff shipped out of here. It's not as simple as it might sound, trust me. It's complicated, especially with all the shipping issues that you have these days. If you don't get everything just right, they hit you with all kinds of extra fees. Ask me how I know. I also went back fishing at the pond again and caught a couple more little fish, and here's a real short clip on that as well. Well, here's another example real pretty example, I might say, of another little green sunfish. Not real big. You know, he probably wouldn't even go a quarter pound, but a nice little fish, real pretty. Well, hope you enjoyed that little clip as well. It's just bits of randomness, as I said. And that's going to be about it for today. I've got to get busy and get more done on this auction stuff and try to get started on that next guitar. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we'll see you tonight at Dickey's Barbecue. And for sure, I'd like to see you this coming Saturday evening at the Lyric Live Theater in Newburgh, Missouri. If you can make it, I would sure appreciate it.